Statistically, Wilt Chamberlain is the most dominant athlete in American sports history. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing moments in NBA history, the 1959 NBA Draft. We all know Wilt Chamberlain as one of the most dominant forces ever to step on the court, an unstoppable scorer, rebounder, a 7-foot phenom who will redefine the game. Coming out of the University of Kansas, Wilt Chamberlain won back-to-back consensus All-American honors in the 1957 NCAA Tournament Most Outstanding Player Award. He averaged 29.9 points and 18.3 rebounds over 2 seasons, led KU to the 1957 NCAA Finals, and set school records for the single game points, 52, and rebounds, 36.
Wilt Chamberlain was born in Philadelphia to a family of 9. After becoming a star track and field athlete, Chamberlain shifted focus to basketball upon entering high school. At nearly 7 foot tall, Chamberlain established himself as one of the most dominant high school players ever. Over 200 universities pursued the center. However, Chamberlain chose the University of Kansas. In 1956-57, Chamberlain led his Jayhawk team to the NCAA Finals versus North Carolina. North Carolina would triple team him throughout the night and go on to win the championship in triple overtime. Despite losing, Chamberlain's skills were evident enough to earn him the Final Four MVP. Though he averaged 29.9 points and 18.3 rebounds in his 2 years as a Jayhawk, Chamberlain, tired of being double and triple teamed every night, decided he'd rather be paid to play. He left Kansas before finishing his senior year. Chamberlain made his NBA debut in 1959 for the Philadelphia Warriors.
Wilt is easily one of the best college players of all time, but he wasn't drafted number 1. In fact, he was drafted number 3. Who are the 2 players that were drafted before Wilt Chamberlain? Let's start off with the number 1 pick in the draft, Bob Boozer. The number 1 pick in the 1959 NBA Draft was Bob Boozer, chosen by the Cincinnati Royals. Bob Boozer was an electrifying scorer at Kansas State, a forward who could dominate inside and out, and was a key figure for the Royals early on, earning an all-star appearance and eventually becoming a respected leader in the league.
Robert Louis Boozer was born on April 26, 1937, in the city of Omaha, Nebraska. Boozer grew up in North Omaha and attended Omaha Technical High School, which is no longer in commission. Boozer always knew he wanted to play basketball because he was always bigger than everyone. By the time he was a senior in high school, he was already 6 foot 8 inches tall with major speed. During his senior year, Boozer averaged 25.6 points per game and grabbed around 8 rebounds for Omaha Tech. Also joining him on his basketball team was Major League Baseball Hall of Famer Bob Gibson. With superior athleticism and great basketball abilities, Bob Boozer chose to take his talents to Kansas State University in the year of 1956.
Howard Shannon and I sat in the office and had Bob Boozer wait out in the hall while we talked about whether or not we were going to take him, and this was in August. Iowa State, he was interested in Iowa State. They didn't recruit him. Nebraska didn't recruit him. And he's a long, lean guy. I told Howard Shannon, I said, Coach, this guy, he's a young colt. He's going to grow 2 or 3 inches. Everybody said he couldn't play outside and he was undersized postman. Well, of course, history showed that he could play out. He could play anywhere.
What most people don't realize, I remember when he came in as a freshman, he was big and he was mobile. He wasn't a very good shooter. I mean, he wasn't a bad shooter, but he wasn't really a very good shooter through his freshman year. But as the year went along, the freshmen used to come up and scrimmage the varsity a little bit because that's how Tech's evaluated talent. And Bob certainly was not unaggressive at that particular point of his career. But the greatest thing was that when he came back as a sophomore to start that season, he had developed himself as far as his shots were concerned, and he became a really great scorer.
Ernie Barrett took me aside and worked with me after every practice, one-on-one. He showed me different things to do.
I had just come back from playing in the Celtics, and Boozer was kind of tentative. He was not physical like he needed to be for being 6'8" or 9" in those days, and I'd knock the daylights out of him. He'd go in for a layup, and I'd have him on the floor. And he got up time after time and ready to fight me, and I kept saying, come on.
He beat me up pretty good. And then as I started getting more skills, I started beating back. And then when I started beating back and winning, then I knew that the games were going to be a lot easier than the practices.
Bob is somebody who developed into a great player. I always thank my lucky stars that he came to K-State, because Jack Parr made us a Big 7 champion. Bob Boozer helped us become a national contender.
In his time at Kansas State, Boozer was a two-time consensus All-American, and in his junior season, he averaged over 25 points a game for the Wildcats, also taking their team to the 1958 Final Four. Boozer is currently only one of 10 players in Wildcat history to have their jersey retired. After skipping his final year of eligibility at Kansas State, Boozer moved on to the National Basketball Association. In the 1959 NBA Draft, Bob Boozer was selected first overall to the Cincinnati Royals. After being drafted, he was also selected to play on the 1960s Olympic basketball team that won gold. Boozer played in 11 total seasons in his NBA career, playing for 6 different basketball teams. Boozer scored 12,964 points and recorded 7,119 rebounds in his career. In Boozer's final season before retiring, he won a championship with the Milwaukee Bucks, winning the organization's first overall championship.
And the second pick of the 1959 NBA draft was Bailey Howell. Bailey Howell, drafted by the Detroit Pistons, Howell was a powerhouse at Mississippi State, known for his scoring, rebounding, and a smooth, versatile game. Howell will go on to become a 6-time All-Star, win the NBA Rookie of the Year, and later become inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame.
Bailey Howell, Mississippi State University. Throughout his career with the Bulldogs, Bailey Howell rewrote the record books at Mississippi State. From the years 1957 to 1959, Howell averaged 27 points and 17 rebounds per game. Despite playing at a time when freshmen were unable to suit up, Howell's 1,200-plus rebounds remains the Mississippi State record, and his 2003 points is still second all-time at the school. After his college years ended, Howell took his hard-nosed style of play to the NBA, where he played for 4 different teams over a 12-year career. Howell was named to the NBA All-Star team 6 times and won 2 NBA championships with the Boston Celtics. In 1997, Howell was recognized for his contributions to the game as he was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Now, Boozer and Howell, great players, great careers, but they were nowhere near Wilt Chamberlain. So how were they drafted before him? Wilt didn't go number 1 or 2 because the NBA's territorial pick rule. The Philadelphia Warriors, based in Philly, claimed Wilt as a territorial pick since he was from the area. This gave them the right to draft him even though he wasn't the top overall pick. And as we know, Wilt will become one of the greatest players of all time.
Hello, I'm Jim Leeming, and sitting here with me is Wilt Chamberlain. After 4 years of waiting, Eddie Gottlieb, the owner of the Philadelphia Warriors of the National Basketball Association, has finally signed Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt, we're mighty happy to have you in Philadelphia. But you're coming here actually and taking a cut in salary from what you made over this last year with the Harlem Globetrotters. How about that? How come the cut in salary?
Actually, I tell you, Jim, I always wanted to play in the NBA, and playing with my hometown Philadelphia made me quite happy. So I had to sacrifice a few things, and also I have a chance to be home with my family. So I think in the long run, I'll come out a lot better, even though I took a financial deficit.
As I mentioned a moment ago, Wilt, you're going to be playing with a team that actually obtained the draft rights to you 4 years ago. Playing in the NBA, you're going to be entirely different for you, though. You'll be playing for the first time where they have the man-for-man rule. They can't zone you anymore. How do you feel about that?
Actually, that makes me quite happy. I've always been zoned all through basketball, even high school, college, all with the exception of the 1 year I played with the Trotters. And I'm really looking forward to the 24-second rule under one man.
You know, basketball fans are waiting to see how you're going to do in the NBA, especially against players of great capabilities, fellows like Bill Russell, for instance, of the Boston Celtics. Now, you will be playing man for man, as I mentioned. Do you feel that you are ready for this? You've been ganged up on pretty much through your collegiate career and with the Trotters. Do you think the Trotters, for instance, helped you any?
Well, I actually do. I think there will be a period of orientation for me to call it like this for every newcomer in the NBA, but I think in the long run I'll be able to handle myself man to man with almost anyone in the league.
So let me know, what do you think? Would the league have been different if Wilt went first without the territorial rule? Imagine if Wilt would have played with Oscar Robertson, two of the most unstoppable forces in NBA history. How would the game have evolved? If you like this dive into NBA history, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.